Dr. William Jordan is president of the National Physicians Association. He's here to discuss more on the health care fallout. I want to ask you, Dr. Jordan, what do you believe as a physician? You've had more than a decade of practicing in family medicine. Do you believe that the Affordable Care Act should be repealed?
As the immediate past board chair of the National Physicians Alliance, we represent over 10,000 doctors from across specialties and across the country, and we fight alongside our patients and communities for what they need. We think that a repeal of the Affordable Care Act would be a disaster for patients and communities.
Why do you think it's a disaster when you look at there are insurers who are leaving Obamacare that wasn't the case a year ago? Why do you think these insurers are leaving now?
I think the insurers are leaving because they're getting mixed signals from the administration. I think the administration has signaled that they want to dismantle the Affordable Care Act, and the insurers are not sure what the future holds.
When you talk about these insurers and also issues like Medicaid and Medicare, what's your biggest concern as someone who represents an organization with all these physicians across America?
My biggest concern is the drastic cuts to Medicaid. As somebody whose own grandmother was in a nursing home on Medicaid after my grandfather passed away and she had Alzheimer's dementia, I know that it's really essential for our patients, for their families, and for their neighbors.
So when you look at what's being drafted on Capitol Hill, what are your biggest concerns? What do you hear from physicians that they'd like to see change specifically?
I think they'd like to see a continued support for programs like Medicaid that save lives. I think it's really terrible the direction that the administration is going in, where they're really focusing on tax cuts for the wealthy. Hey, I'm a doctor, I don't need that tax cut, but my patients, they need Medicaid.
Mitch McConnell, Senate Majority Leader, said he's going to hold a vote next week to repeal Obamacare. Do you agree with that you should repeal without a replacement? What are your thoughts?
I think if they want to send the market into a tailspin, then that would be a good plan. But I don't think it makes any sense to talk about repealing without having any plan in place.
What do you want to hear Congress say?
I want to hear Congress say that they're listening to the people that elected them, that they're not listening to lobbyists and special interests who are paying for their campaign re-election.
So if there is some sort of a new health care bill that's eventually drafted, if it is bipartisan, what do you want both members of Congress to include in it?
They should provide quality, affordable care for their constituents.
All right. Dr. Jordan, thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks so much.
We appreciate your time.